It's not too common these days to find a video game with a good story. Then along comes the game known as Sleeping Dogs. How does Sleeping Dogs measure up to other games today? You're about to find out. Firstly, a bit of a background of this game. This game was first announced by Activision as True Crime Hong Kong back in 2009. A few years later, in 2011, Activision claimed that continuing the development of True Crime Hong Kong wouldn't be a financially wise decision, so they announced the cancellation of the game. 6 months later, Square Enix had picked up the publishing rights of the game, but the game was re-announced as Sleeping Dogs in 2012, as Square Enix did not purchase the True Crime name rights. I believe that the reason Activision didn't think it was financially wise to release the game was because it wasn't called Call of Duty. When it comes to Activision, they usually only develop titles which they think will make them a profit. They make games for the money, not for the product, and that's a shame. Thankfully though, Square Enix picked up this game and saw something in it and continued the development. Sleeping Dogs revolves around a man by the name of Wei Shen. He's an undercover police officer based in San Francisco and returns to his native Hong Kong in order to infiltrate the Sun On Yee, which is a segment of the gang known as the Triads. The police wish to bring down the Triads. Along the way, Wei finds himself becoming attached to the people in which he meets while earning their respect and trust, though he continuously denies the attachment. The thing is, some of his old friends, such as Jackie Ma, are members of the very group in which he's been instructed to take down. It's very interesting, though some might say a very cliché story, to watch unfold before your very eyes. Unlike other sandbox games, Sleeping Dogs tells a very serious story. It's also a break away from the norm as the game takes place in Hong Kong. The streets are alive and active with street vendors all over the place that sell you food items which are very helpful as they replenish health. You can also find health upgrades scattered along the city. If you activate a few of them, you get the upgrade to your health. Aesthetically, Sleeping Dogs looks very nice. The different weather changes throughout the game also look and sound fantastic. The voice acting is also great. Although the frequent transitioning from Chinese to English, I won't lie, it gets a bit annoying. This game has particular emphasis on driving and hand-to-hand combat. You'll find yourself driving all over the place. If you're into the views of the game and just driving around and exploring Hong Kong, this will be right up your alley. The one problem with driving is the camera. When you're trying to back up in a car, the camera does whatever it wants, regardless of how you play around with the right analog stick. This was incredibly annoying. Aside from that though, driving in Sleeping Dogs was a nice experience. The game also has a feature where you can keep up a top score of how well you're driving. If you begin to drive and don't bump into anything, you will get a top score in clean driving. It's not a necessary feature, but it was a nice thing to include that. However, the heart of this game's gameplay lies in the hand-to-hand combat. There are hundreds of situations where you'll have to tackle multiple enemies at once, and it's button mashing goodness all the way through. It's fun stringing together combos against the gangsters you're fighting, and even better are the environmental executions, which can get pretty nasty. Along with the story missions from both the cops and the Triads, you can also roam around town and do favors for the citizens of Hong Kong. Upon completion, you'll earn XP for your face level, which will allow you to wear different clothing items. That's not all. Upon completion of specific missions, you'll earn cop or triad experience, which allows you to unlock various skills to make Wei stronger. 3 weeks ago, I didn't even know about this game. Now, I'm very thankful to be an owner of it. It's a gripping story with engaging characters and immersive gameplay throughout the game. The one thing I really didn't like about the game was the length. It took me around 18 hours to complete the game. This isn't including locating all the collectibles that are hidden in the game. This was the primary story of the game. Sleeping Dogs suffers from what I call the conviction syndrome. Like Splinter Cell Conviction for the Xbox 360, the game is good, but too short. Even with that said, it's still an incredibly enjoyable title and, dare I say, better than Grand Theft Auto, which I think is an incredibly overrated series anyway. Do yourself a favor and pick up Sleeping Dogs. It's a joy to play, and if you're a fan of a good story, you'll be pleasantly surprised. One question I have though, why is it called Sleeping Dogs?
Over again, bang this in your Rover Benz, yo I told ya, and I'ma tell you again that I'm a soldier, right until the end, take it over. whether I'm sober, a drunk off a gin.